Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, original, chapter number 4, text number 13. Chadurvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram abhimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. Krishna is telling here, there are 4 social and spiritual orders, varnashrama dharma: intellectual class, administrative class, farmer class, and labor class. These are varnas. And ashramas are brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. In these 4 social orders, people generally have a mixed worship. They don't really stick with the worship of the Supreme Lord. But in ashrama life, though there are confusions, because at present age there are so many swamis who do not refer the scriptures, still they claim that they are the advisors to the nation. They just explain some logical and hypothetical explanations and try to convince the government. But they are not actually the real advisors. The Brahmana we are talking about is the Vedic Brahmanas, who has studied the scriptures and they have concluded who is God in a scientific manner. So therefore, they can give the quotations from scriptures to the government and implement certain laws that become beneficial to the citizens at large. So therefore, the group of Brahmanas' job is to give counseling to the administrators. At present, the administrators do not take any counseling from Vedic Brahmanas. And hardly the Vedic Brahmanas exist nowadays. All are caste Brahmanas. Vedic Brahmanas are people who studies the Vedas and follow the scriptural injunctions. Caste Brahmanas are born in some Brahmana families, and so they follow that family's customs and traditions as they were trained to do so. But not the Brahmanas who study the Vedas. They are the priestly class. They perform all kinds of samskaras: marriage samskara, death samskara, ear piercing samskaras, and name-giving samskaras. First time the baby eats food called annaprashna samskara, and vivaha samskara, which we said is a wedding samskara. So in that way, the Brahmana class of people do all these samskaras for the entire society. Then they earn their livelihood. There are so many different types of temples and different deities. These Brahmanas become priests for those temples and take care of their ritualistic ceremonies and ablutions and decorating the deities and what the temple authorities offers to these priests as a remuneration. With that money, they actually maintain their family. So basically, the priestly class, their livelihood is doing this profession, all members of the society. So that is the Vedic Brahmana class. Nowadays, things are different because of modern science and philosophy and technology developed. People began to change it from one to another to another. So this is what's going on. The Kshatriyas, they rule the world or their country according to the direction given by the Brahmanas. They don't sit and read scriptures, which is not necessary. So those things are done by the Brahmanas. So therefore, Brahmanas are also become the counselors for the Kshatriyas. Not only Kshatriyas, even for the farmer class, Vaishya class, and also the Shudra class. So they are the head of the society. So all the other inferior classes can take advice from them. So these Brahmanas are also get married with their Brahmanis. Polygamy. You can marry several wives. So firstly, the Brahmana should marry only a Brahmana girl. The second wife should not be a Brahmana girl. She can be a Kshatrani. And third wife should not be a Kshatrani. Should be from a Vaishya community. And he can marry the fourth time also. That can be from the laborer community, Shudra community. So that all the other three ladies will assist this Brahmani. If everyone is a Brahmani, they always fight for the superiority. These members from the Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras, they won't actually fight or create arguments because they know above me there is a Vaishya Mataji whose social class is higher than my class. So in that way, they all very nicely serve one another, ultimately pleasing the husband. And the husband become the devotee of the Supreme Lord. He engages in the worship of the Absolute Lord. So all these four members gets benefit of what the husband is actually doing. So they don't need to actually separately cultivate knowledge and try to become spiritual. They just follow the husband. So that is the system in all human society. A Kshatriya who marries, he shall not marry a Brahmani girl. He should marry only a Kshatrani. Then if he wants a second wife, he can take her from Vaishya community. The third one from the Shudra community. A Vaishya can marry the Vaishya girl and also a Shudra girl. A Shudra should marry only from the Shudra. He cannot actually choose somebody from Brahmana community, Kshatriya community or Vaishya community unless they are in deep love with somebody, as it is going on nowadays. The Kshatriyas are different. In ancient time, is everywhere the Kshatriya has to manifest his valor. The Kshatriya Swayamvara means the father of the princess would invite many princes from around the world. There is only one girl, but to get her, there are thousands of princes comes from different parts of the world. And there will be competition, and all these princes have to take part in this competition. Whoever become victorious, he would get this girl. So that is what happened to the Pandavas when they married Panchali. And also Krishna married most of his wives that way. And there are competition. Sometimes the competition is actually with the bulls. There are 7-8 bulls. You have to defeat that bulls. And Krishna did it. He became victorious in almost every time. He married almost every wife by entering into these competitions and become victorious. So these are the Kshatriya's marriage. And Vaishya's marriage, mutual understanding, going and asking for Kanyadan. It is called a charity. The mother and father of the girl, give the girl in charity to a suitable boy. So that is the whole Vedic system of marriage. So the Varnashrama Dharma is actually set by Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, Lord actually says, Chadurvarnyam Maya Srishtam. I have created so that the society will live peacefully and happily. That was abolished in the modern society. Therefore, all these chaoses are taking place. Wars, battles, personal envy on others, and people are just kidnapping anybody and everybody, and the lower class is kidnapping the higher class and trying to force them to marry, and there are murders and punishments and so many things were actually going on. Above everything, the government has such a precarious situation to handle these people because they all have their own senses. All are uncontrolled senses, and the government has to suffer, and they don't know what to do with these people, and they're trying. Why? Because nobody is systematically following Krishna's orders given in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore all these problems are actually taking place. So Krishna says, I have created so that people can follow these systems and become self-satisfied in their community. Chadurvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. I have divided this according to the guna, quality and work, not by birth at all. So they have to have a guna. Guna means for Brahmana there are qualities. For Kshatriya there are qualities. For Vaishyas there are qualities. And Shudras also there are qualities. So according to these qualities, the social division is divided. So what are they? It is mentioned by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita, Samodama Taba Saucham Shandir Arjavam Evacha Jnanam Vijnanam Ashtikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. The qualities of Brahmanas. Samodama Taba Saucham. Sama means serenity, tranquility. Dama means self-control. Taba means austerity, become austere, fasting. Saucham, always remain clean. The mind has to be clean by chanting the holy name of the Lord. The body has to be clean by taking at least 2 baths in a day. Shantir Arjavam Evacha. Shantir means tolerance. Arjava means honesty. Then Jnanam, knowledge has to be cultivated from the scriptures, and that knowledge has to be realized as well. That is practical knowledge. Realization means practicality. Jnana means knowledge of the scriptures. Vijnana means realizing that scriptural knowledge. Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. These are the qualities of Brahman. So without these, if a person claims that I am a Brahmana and he doesn't have these qualities, then he is a caste Brahmana, not real Brahmana, what Krishna has created. It's very simple. The next one is Kshatriya class. Sauryam Tejo Drudir Dakshyam Yuddhe Chabi Apalayanam Dhanam Ishvara Bhavasya Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam. Shauryam. Shauryam means heroism. Tejo means power, superiority, supreme power. This is relatively supreme power, not that supreme Lord and his power. Shauryam, Tejo, Dhridir, Dakshyam. Dhridir means determination. Dakshyam means resourcefulness. And he has all kinds of facilities for everybody, all that they have to sanction it. Yuddhe chapi apalayanam. He also has to fight against the enemies when it is required. Also, apalayanam. Apalayanam means not to run away from the battlefield when there is really danger. Dhanam. He should perform charity. Ishvara bhavasya. He has the controlling bhava, Ishvara bhava. Ishvara means the supreme controller. Here, he also thinks that he is controlling his subjects, so that Ishvara bhava is there. Kshatram karma swabhavajam. That is the qualities of a Kshatriya or the administrator, prime minister, president. These are the things they should cultivate. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. Do the agricultural, protect the cows. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. Do business and banking. Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Produce as much food as possible. Let the prices go down so that people will have no problem for food. Nowadays the farmers are very reluctant to produce the food because they are failing most of the time. There is no rain, sometimes too much rain. Their all crops gets destroyed either by evaporation or by flooding. They get their seeds destroyed. So they just want to sell their land. This industrialization is dependent on the electricity. So once the electricity disappears from this world, the industry, technology, science, everything ceases. That's it. And there is no people to cultivate food. What the general people will do? Kill animals and eat? No sugar, no fruits, no vegetables, no nuts, no grains, no beans. There will be a problem. So Vaishyas should produce more and more food and send to the market. In that way, they make their living. So that is Vaishyas. They do banking things too. They can give money for interest. Those are allowed in the scripture. Nowadays, if anybody is in need, if they try to borrow some money, the lenders, they plunder the borrowers. It is really difficult situation nowadays. So Vaishyas should be under their control. So that is not happening nowadays. So the Shudra, Paricharya Atmakam Karma, Shudra Shavi Swabhavajam. So the labor class should serve all these three classes of people and become happy. And they get their remunerations from all these three members. There are hundreds and thousands of laborers working under Vaishyas, working under Kshatriyas, working under Brahmanas. They're all getting their salary, and ultimately Varnasrama Acharavate Purushasena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyade Panda Nanya Tatosha Karanam. In order to remain completely happy, they must start worshipping Lord Vishnu, who is the benedictor of all these four classes of people, because he is the maintainer. Lord Shiva is not the maintainer. Lord Brahma is not the maintainer. It is Lord Vishnu who is the maintainer. Therefore, these four classes of people should worship the absolute Godhead. This is from Vishnu Purana. Varnashrama Ajaravata Purushasena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyade Bhanda. So they should worship Vishnu, by which Tattosha Karanam, Nanya Tattosha, they all will be flourishing and will be very happy. So this is the Varnashrama system. The system is created by Lord Krishna. Therefore, the system is called Devi Varnashrama Dharma. At present, what we are having, still there are intellectual class, administrators, Vaishyas and Shudras. Because they don't worship Lord Vishnu, this become demoniac Varnashrama Dharma. So therefore, envy, lust, greed, fighting, dying, all these things are happening. There is no cooperation between Vaishyas, nor Kshatriyas, nor Brahmanas, nor labor class, Shudras. They're all fighting, and the peace of the society is gone, and killing are taking place in the form of war, terrorism, because these terrorists, they want to maintain a parallel government which is not accepted by the elected government. These people haven't got elected, but they want to actually start their own things. So they get most of the time defeated, and war ensues, millions are dead. What is the point? So they have to come to Devi Varnashrama Dharma. They have to accept God. It's not just to keep announcing, declaring God is great and go and kill all these people created by God. Krishna, God never gave you the permission to go and kill people, because certain classes of people try to run a parallel government and they go and kill some people and they get a reaction. Self-defense is allowed. So if one country is defending themselves, that is allowed. Who created that fight in the first place? You guys created, and now you are getting destroyed. What is the point? So let us come to Krishna consciousness. The only solution is to engage in pure devotional service, pure God consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness. Scientifically and philosophically, it is approved by the scriptures and acharyas and God Himself. So to become happy, one should take up what God has said for us. The whimsical activities only give us pain and disasters in this world. So Krishna says that I have created this society, though I have created these social and spiritual divisions. I am not part of the system. Tasya kartaram abhimam. Even though I have created these social and spiritual orders, Vidhi, you must know that I am not part of that. Vidhi akartaram avyayam. Because I am avyaya, inexhaustible, invincible, indefatigable. So I am akarta. Though I have created, I am not part of these social and spiritual divisions. If I am part of these social and spiritual divisions, I have control over these guys. Because equals are equals. If there are equals, then there is no superiority. I am above these social and spiritual orders. And he would specifically and explicitly explains his stand in next verse. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.